Hi, second graders. Today I'm going to read to you the story Max Found Two Sticks, Stories and Pictures by Brian Pinkney. So today I'm going to go over the flow chart that is your assignment with you after I read the story. So here we go. It was a day when Max didn't feel like talking to anyone. He just sat on his front steps and watched the clouds gather in the sky. I have days like that sometimes where I don't really want to talk to anybody. I kind of just want to be by myself. I'm not mad or I'm not really sad. I just feel like kind of being alone. A strong breeze shook the tree in front of his house, and Max saw two heavy twigs fall to the ground. What are you going to do with those sticks? Max's grandpa asked as he washed the front windows. Not saying a word, Max tapped on his thighs. Pat, pat, tat, putter, putter, pat, tat. His rhythm imitated the sound of the pigeons, startled into flight. When Max's mother came home carrying new hats for his twin sister, she asked, "What are you doing with Grandpa's cleaning bucket, son?" Max responded by patting the bucket. Tap, tap, tap. Tippy tip, tat, tat. He created the rhythm of the light rain falling against the front windows. Can you just hear the sound of the rain hitting the windows? I can just hear it as I'm reading this story. After a while, the clouds moved on and the sun appeared. Cindy, Sean, and Jamal showed up drinking sodas. "Hey, Max, what you doing with those hat boxes?" Again, Max didn't answer. He just played on the boxes. Dum, dum, dee dum, dee 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 dum dum. Max drummed the beat of the tom-toms in a marching band. "What are you doing with those soda bottles?" His dad asked as he brought out the garbage cans on his way to work. Max answered on the bottles. Dong, dang, dong, ding, dong, ding. His music joined the chiming of the bells in the church around the corner. So soon the twins came out to show off their new hats. "Hey, Max," they asked, "what are you doing with those garbage cans?" Max hammered out a reply on the cans. "Cling, clang, da bang, a cling, clang, da bang." Max pounded out the sound of the wheels thundering down the tracks under the train on which his father worked as a conductor. Suddenly, Max heard thump-dee-dee, thump, thump-dee-dee, thump as a marching band rounded the corner. Wow, it's pretty cool to think of a marching band walking right past your house. Max watched the drummers with amazement as they passed, copying their rhythms. The last drummer saw Max. Then, with a nod and a wink, he tossed Max his spare set of sticks. "Thanks," called Max, and he didn't miss a beat. So, I think that's kind of a neat story. Think about, what do you like to do when you have a day where you just don't really feel like talking to anyone or doing anyone else? What do you like to do? Do you like to draw or dance? Do you like to maybe read a book? So Max kind of enjoys pretending to play instruments on different things. So that's kind of neat. Let's go ahead and look at our worksheet. So this is called a flow chart. A flow chart has usually arrows like this one does, and it shows movement. So we're going to show the movement throughout the story. So it says fill in the flow chart to show the order of events in the story. So the events flow into each other. So at the beginning of our story, and I'm not going to write on this worksheet because if you've watched my math videos, it's pretty hard for me to write long sentences, and I can't really fit a lot on these little drums. So you're just going to have to kind of write as I talk. You can always pause the video if you need to and catch up. So what happens at the beginning of our story? Well, we always think about, at the beginning of a story, we think about our setting. So the time and the place. So Max is sitting outside on his porch by himself. Okay, so that kind of tells you the place he's at. He's sitting on his porch and he wants to be by himself. So that kind of tells you the setting, it tells you the name of the character, and it tells you kind of what he's doing. So he's sitting and he wants to be alone. So then what happens with Max? Well, I would say the next event is Max's grandfather asks him what he's doing with his sticks. The third drum, I would say, Max starts playing beats with the sticks in his hand. People walk by and he plays different sounds based on what's going on around him. Got a tickle in my throat. I've been talking too much. So, in the end, you can probably choose a couple events before the end to write down in the drums. Like his sisters show him their hats, and he continues to beat on his either trash cans or the Coke bottles or whatever. And then what happens in the end is the marching band comes around, and the conductor, or not the conductor, the last drummer hands him an extra pair of drumsticks. So that was a lot to keep track of. So so if you fill out the flow chart, Max is sitting on the porch wanting to be alone. Max starts to play with 2 sticks and turns them into a drum. People in the neighborhood ask him what he's doing, and he answers with drum noises. He continues to drum on different items that come around, like Coke bottles, trash cans. And then lastly, a marching band walks by, and the last drummer gives him his sticks. Now, that's a lot to fit in the worksheet. Just do your best. What do you think Max will do with his real drumsticks? Well, I think he's going to continue to do exactly what he was doing before. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the story.